Welcome everyone to Facebook tutorial series. This is part 3 and in this video we will learn how to make comments. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is to go inside my features, inside the post, inside the models. I'm going to first of all define my comment. So I'm going to define a class for that, and this is going to be immutable. So let's say immutable, and we have to import immutable. Let's import it by hand. I always try to import immutable from foundation.dart and make sure that I only import the immutable and not other parts of this package. So let's define our properties. The first property is going to be a comment ID. Each comment should have an ID. Then we also need to have an offer ID because each comment belongs to a person and we need information about that person. The next ID that we need is a post ID because each comment belongs to a post. And then we have the text, that is going to be the actual text inside our comment. We also have a created at. So each comment has a created at field. And let's also say we have a list of a string that's going to be likes. So this is how we actually take care of our likes. Let's also create a constructor for this. And I'm going to be using this generate constructor that comes with the extension that I have installed inside my VS Code. And let's also make toMap and FromMap methods. So for that I'm going to just copy and paste to save some time. Let's also import Firebase names class. And to make sure we have not made any mistakes, I'm going to check it out. We have used created at here, and also here. So I hope we have not made any mistake. So this is all about defining our comment model. Now let's go inside our repository and create our methods. And I'm gonna again go inside my repository. We have post repository. So inside post repository, we only have to define two methods. One for creating a comment and also one for liking a comment. And hopefully we already have those methods. We just have to modify our make post and also like post method to get it faster. So let me just copy and paste these two methods, and I'm going to modify them to work for this case. So let's copy and paste, and I'm going to hold Shift and Alt and press down to make a perfect copy of them. So let's say I'm going to call this method make comment, and let's change our properties. This time I'm not getting a file. Comments are only text based, so I'm going to get rid of the file. Let's call it text, and instead of post type, here we have a post ID because each comment belongs to a specific post. And here we again need a comment ID. We also need a offer ID. We also need to get datetime.now. Let's get rid of this part because we're not posting anything. And instead of a comment, I'm gonna create a post. Sorry, instead of creating a post, I'm gonna create a comment. So let's say comment is equal to comment, and we have everything in place. Comment ID, offer ID, post ID, text. For created data, I'm gonna say now, and for the list of likes, I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna put an empty list and make sure this is constant. So inside Firestore this time, instead of going to post, I'm gonna just go to comments, and I'm gonna put my comment ID. I wonder how I have a post ID. Let's check it out. Post ID. Here we had a post ID and it worked fine. Yep. This should be called comment ID. That's fine. Sorry, this is the post ID. But what we actually need to say is comment ID, because inside the comment collection, I'm going to save each comment with its ID. And then instead of post, I'm going to just say comment. So this is all about posting a comment. And next we need to take care of liking. So let's say like, dislike. So let's also define our properties. This time instead of post ID, we have our comment ID, and again we have the list of likes. Inside the try, I'm going to get the offer ID like before. The only difference is when we come here instead of post collection, I'm gonna go inside my comments collection and pass my comment ID. Then we have to update, and if we already have liked the post, we just need to remove it, and if we have not liked the post, we need to add it. So everything is like before, except going inside comments collection, and I'm gonna pass my comment ID. So it is done beautifully. Next, we need to create our provider, and this provider is gonna get all our comments. So let's go inside our providers, and I'm sure you can already see what I'm going to do next. So I'm gonna just create a provider like this for getting all the comments. So I'm gonna copy everything from here and create a new file called get all comments provider. Let's visit here, and I'm gonna change its name to get all comments provider. This is still gonna be string provider of up to dispose iterable of type comment. We create a subscription, we go to comments collection, and we get everything sorted by date published. But this time we just created that. This was a mistake that prevented us from getting our comments. And then we need to create a list called comments, and we're gonna call it comment data. Also here, I'm gonna say comment dot from map, and we already have that method, and we add list of comments to our controller. Let's see comments. This is an iterable of type comment, and the problem is here we have forgotten to make it iterable of type comment, and now everything is working fine. We are disposing our controller, and we also return our controller dot stream. So let's get rid of the import that we don't need, and now if we hit save, we have already defined our get all comments provider. So next it's time to build our UI. For that, I'm gonna go inside my presentation and screen. I'm gonna define a screen called comments screen dot dot. This is the screen that we display all our comments. So let's create our comments screen, and this is gonna be pretty simple. Let's define a status widget. I'm gonna call it comments screen. Let's also import everything from material.dart. So inside this, I'm gonna return a scaffold. This is gonna hold an app bar. I'm gonna call it comments screen, or for simply comments. And inside the body, all we're gonna have is a column. And this is where I'm gonna put my children. The first one is gonna be comment list, and the second is gonna be comment text field. So this is all that is to this screen, but we also need to get a parameter, and that's gonna be post ID. Let's also put it inside of our constructor. We also have defined a route name. So let's go to the router file and define this new screen. I'm gonna call it comment screen. Let's say in case we have comment screen, I'm gonna just return comment screen, and this time we have a parameter. So let's get it. I'm gonna come here and say final post ID is equal to, we have our settings, and according to that we can get our arguments, and I'm gonna say this is gonna be a string. Comment screen takes a post ID, and here we have it, our post ID. And let's also get rid of this import. Now we need to go inside our post tile. So that is the place that we have our comment. This is the button that if we're gonna press, we're gonna go inside our comment screen. And I have put it inside our post button. Let's say we have it here. Okay. So I'm gonna use the unpress property, and every time we press on this, we're just gonna go inside our comment screen. So let's say navigate of context dot push comment screen dot brand name, And the reason we get this error is because we have declared this as constant. So let's get rid of this. And we also need to pass an argument, and that's going to be post ID. Let's see how we can get our post ID from here. Inside here we have a post, so we can say post.post ID. Beautiful. Now let's run our project to see if everything works correctly. So now our app is up and running. Let's test it out. I'm going to press on this button, and here we go. We're inside our comments screen. So the first component that I'm going to be building is the comments list. Let's make the terminal smaller and go inside our widgets and make sure we are inside post, presentation, and widgets. Let's create a component called comments list. So this is actually going to be a stateless consumer. Let's also import both Riverpod and also material.dart. Inside the build method, the first thing I'm going to do is to get the list of my comments. And one thing that I have noticed is that if you want to get all the comments, you have to get all the comments for a specific post and not all comments that is inside this app. So let's go inside our get comments provider, and we need to pass it a parameter. So for that reason, I'm going to make it a family provider. And apart from iterable of comments, I'm going to also pass another property, and that's going to be string. So here I'm going to call it post ID. Let's go inside collection comments. I also need to specify a condition, and that's going to be where post ID is equal to post ID. So we get all of our comments in case the post ID of the comment is equal to the post ID. And if you go inside our comment model, we see that we have a post ID. So every time we get a comment, we check if our post ID is equal to the post ID provided. Let's check it out. Also inside this method, let's first get our post ID and add it to the constructor, of course. And make sure we have a key. It improves performance. So now that we hover over it, we get an error because it requires us to pass a post ID. I'm going to pass my post ID here, and now we get all of my comments. So inside this widget, all I'm going to return first is an expanded widget, because in the comments list screen, we first of all have all our comments, and below that, we have our comment text field. And as you know, a text field gives all the space available to this, so we need to use expanded here. And as a child, I'm just going to say comments.when, and you already know how we define this one, so let me do it fast. So now we handled the error and also loading case. Let's also handle the data case. So in case we have data, we're gonna take the data. I'm gonna call it comments list, and inside here I'm gonna just return a list without builder. Inside the item card, I'm gonna pass comments list dot length, and inside the item builder we have our context and also index. So let's first of all get a comment, and that's going to be equal to comments list dot element at index. So now that we have a comment, we need to return a comment tile. I'm going to return a comment tile, and inside that we need to pass our comment. But because we still have not defined our comment tile, we are going to get an error. So let's define our comment tile. For that, I'm going to go and create another widget. I'm going to call it comment tile.dart. So let's define our comment tile here, and this is going to be of type stateless widget. So let's say comment tile, and also make sure to import material.dart. Every comment tile requires a comment, so let's pass our comment. And inside the build method, we are going to return a padding. It is going to be a padding of all sides with a value of 8. And inside the chart, we have a column. Because comments are going to be a bit complex, I'm going to divide it in two parts. We have comment header, and we also have comment footer. So let's put them here. And each of these widgets requires us to pass a comment. And I notice that I have forgotten to define a children property. So let's go inside our children and put everything there. We also need to define our footer. So let's say comment footer. And again, I'm going to pass my comment. We also need to put the semicolon to get the formatting right. I'm going to start by defining my comment header. This time we use a consumer widget. The first thing I'm going to do is to import Riverpod. It is going to take a property of comment. Let's also add it here. So the first thing I'm going to return is a row. But before that, we need to get some data. And as we have noticed, every comment holds the information of the person who has posted it. So let's first of all get them. And again, we're going to use get user info by ID provider. And I'm going to pass my comment.afterID. So we get the properties of the person who posted the comment. And return userinfo.when. So based on either the user info is complete or not, we're going to return. And again, we first of all handle error and loading states. So let's do them fast. And now let's handle the case that we have data. This data is going to be user data. So here we return a row. Across the axis alignment is going to be start. Inside the children property, we first of all need to return a profile tile. We need a URL for that, and I'm going to pass user data dot profile pic URL because every user has a URL. And after that, I'm going to return a flexible. And inside the child, let's return a container. I'm going to put a padding of 12 from all sides. We also need a decoration with a color of gray and a border radius of 15. And as a child, I'm going to return a column. The cross-axis alignment is again going to be start. And for the children, we have our final text. We first show our name, and that's going to be user data, that full name. And I think instead of user data, I'm going to name it user. That sounds better for me at least. And you have to pass some style because the name is going to be big. So I'm going to change the color, making sure that it's black, a font size of 16, and a font weight of 500. Beautiful. And after this text, we have our next one that's going to be our comment itself. So let's hit save now. And now that we have our comment tile, let's just go inside our comment list and import it. I'm going to also close this file. So we were successful at building our comment header. The last piece that we want to build in this page is going to be our comment footer. So let's go and build it out. Let's create our comment footer here, and this is going to be set list widget. It also takes a comment as a property. And now you see all our errors are gone. So this is the part of the comment that we put our buttons. And if you go inside our complete app, you see that. If you go inside comment, we have a bunch of empty comments. You see that this is the part that we're going to be building. It contains a two text and also a like button. And if I press like, the like counter is updating in real time, and also the color of the button is being changed. So this is what actually we are going to build. So I'm going to put it here for now. The first thing that I'm going to take care of is if we have liked the comment or not. So let's say if it's liked, and that's going to be equal to comment.likes contains. So if the likes contains my UID, it means that I've liked the comment. And we get our UID this way. This is it. And inside here, we're gonna return a consumer widget. Inside the builder, we have a context, ref, and a child. So let's return a row. And as you see, the first thing we have is our datetime. So I'm gonna here say, inside the children, we first of all have a text, and that's gonna be comment dot created at. Created at is a datetime, and as you remember, we have the extension, and that's gonna be time ago, or I call it from now. So what this basically does is to get the exact amount of time it has been passed from when I made the comments. Next, we have this like button. So as you see, this is going to be a simple text button. Inside the onPress, I'm going to call the like dislike comment method. So let's go to ref.read, and every time we're triggering an action and we're not interested in the results, we don't need listen to the results, we use read. So let's go to post provider, and then I'm gonna call like dislike comment. Let's pass comment dot comment ID, and also comment dot likes, and let's also pass this to get the formatting right. And because this is gonna be an async operation, it is better to use an await before that. At next, we have to go inside this text, and I'm gonna define a style. So let's go and say text style. The only style that we have is a color. So if our comment is liked, it is gonna be app colors dot blue color. Otherwise, this is just app colors dot, I'm gonna say dark gray color. So this is it. Next, we need to define this like counter, and for that I'm gonna go after my text. So after text, I'm gonna put a little bit of size box with a width of 15. Is it in the wrong place? Yes, it is. So let's drag it down, and then we have our round like icon. That is this small like icon. We need another size box to put some space, and this one the width is gonna be 5. And lastly, we need our text. That is comment dot likes dot length, and of course we need to turn it into a string. Beautiful. And now everything is complete. And if we had a comment right now, we would be able to see it. So right now we don't have any comment to be able to display them. So let's go back to original app, but nothing appears. I'm gonna go back to my comments screen, and we have to put everything in place. So let's say comments list. And now that we're done defining our comments list, let's also define our comment text field. So I'm gonna call it comment text field, and again we're gonna define it inside our widgets. So let's go inside widgets and say comment text field dot dart. Let's also get rid of comment tile. So let's now define our comment text field. This time we're using consumer stateful widget. Let's say consumer stateful widget. Let's say comment text field, and also make sure to import Riverpod and also material.dart. So this is not going to be super complex. All we need to do is to first of all get a property, and that's going to be our post ID. Let's also say we have inside our constructor. So as it's going to be a text field, we need a controller. So let's define our controller and make sure this is late. So inside init state, I'm going to initialize our controller, and we also get rid of it inside our dispose method. And we also have a method for posting a comment. This is going to be feature void make comment. If I can type it right, let's also make it async because this is an asynchronous process. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get the text. That's going to be controller.text, and let's also trim it. And every time we make a comment, the first thing I'm going to do is to clear the comment section to make it look more native. And then we just have to say ref.read, and we're going to be using post provider. And this I'm going to say make comment. We have our text. We also need our post ID. How do we get our post ID? We get it from the parameter we have defined above, and that's pretty much it. Now we need to build our UI, and because the UI is not a big deal, I'm just going to copy and paste this. So everything we have inside our UI is a container with a height of 60 and a color of white. Inside which we have another container with a padding of 15. We have a decoration, a color of gray. You will soon see why. And then we have a text field with a hint text. We have a suffix icon, that is the make comment icon. And we also have an icon of send. So this is all about our comment text field. Let's go and import it here. Make sure we also have got the spelling right. Comment text field and comment text field. And what it requires us is a post ID. So let's give it a post ID. And yes, you see it here. So I want to how to start my app because we have brought a lot of changes. So now the app is restarted successfully. Let's choose a post and go inside the comment section. Let's hit on the comment. And as we see, we have our comment text field. Let's comment something. I'm going to say nice and hit on this button. Beautiful. Our text field is clear, but I still don't see my comment. So to make sure I have made the comment, I'm going to go inside my Firebase console. So if we go inside Firebase console, we see that we have our comments collection. We have a comment inside that. The text is nice. It has no likes. So basically our comment is present. Let's go back inside our application and see what the problem is. Is it again a problem about indexing? So let's see. Let's go inside comments. And we see that our comment is in place. And as you see, we have the index problem again. So let's click on the link, control and click, and open it up. Make sure to sign in with the account that you have your project on, and it will take you inside the Firebase console and suggest you to create an index. I'm gonna just click and save and wait for the index to be built. So it took some time, but our index is built successfully. So let's return to our project right now. I'm gonna clear the terminal, close it, and also go back to comment screen. And now as you see, we have our comment successfully. You can like the comment and it's gonna update in real time. You can also say more comments like this. And if we do a comment, you see that this comment successfully, and you can also like or unlike these comments. So this was all about today's tutorial. In this video we learned how to make a comment. In the next video we will learn how to send and receive friend requests. So see you in the next tutorial.